Hello. Just checking in and making sure you guys can hear me okay. I need to pull up my live and it looks like here we go. Quick mic check and video check. Looks good, sounds great, perfect. Hello everyone, welcome to Cards by TLC. My name is Tammy Savello and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of the San Francisco Bay Area. Whether you are joining me for the first time or returning, welcome. If this is your first time joining me, I'm happy to have you here. And if you have not yet subscribed, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to all so you don't miss any of my future lives or videos. Today is Thursday, March 23rd, 4 p.m. Pacific time, and we are streaming here live right here on YouTube. In fact, you will want to stick around for a special announcement regarding that, so please be sure to stick around to the end. And if you are catching me on the replay, go ahead and skip forward for a minute or so I could say hello to everyone. Hello, Patty. Hello, Nil. Hello, Marcy. Oh, thank you. They are brand new. So, if you side note, follow me on social media and you'll know a little bit more about my bracelets. Anyhow, welcome in everyone. I'm so excited to have you here today. Today's projects, I wanted to kind of challenge myself and pick a bundle that I was not familiar with. And boy, did I do that at first. So the bundle that we are using today is the Brushed Bouquet Bundle, and it could be found on page 63 in the mini catalog. When I was doing some research on this bundle, I found that there were not many samples, so I'm finding that maybe some demonstrators struggled as much as I did and didn't want to create with this. So this bundle is actually a very artistic bundle. It has some artistic flowers that people either love or not love. So my goal today is to share with you some ideas that might change your mind, especially when you see what I do with the dies. This stamp set is a two-step stamp set, but since it's artistic, it doesn't perfectly line up, and I know that might kind of bother people, but that's okay. What I created, I actually think turned out really, really pretty. This bundle also has coordinating dies that have this etched artwork or etched work in it, as well as the outline pieces that go with the stamped images. As you know, this does not have any sentiments, so I've actually paired it with peaceful moments for my sentiments today. This actually can be found in the annual catalog on page 29. As you know, we're coming up on the end of our annual catalog for the year, and I'm kind of incorporating each week some of the some bundles or sentiment sets out of that particular catalog. So we are pairing these two today, and I am going to show you your projects. Getting back to the etched dies, I found that if you cut out these directly onto cardstock, you have to use a darker cardstock. I found that the lighter cardstock, you can't quite see the detail on that, but you can get 3 different looks with the way this bundle works. And I'm going to show you actually 2 of the 3 ways. But I wanted to go ahead and die cut some of these pieces out for you in the darker cardstock so you can see the detail. I don't know if you guys can see the detail on that or not, but it shows up in person on the darker cardstock. On the lighter cardstock, I found it's not as noticeable. So I wanted to show you that portion of it. But I'm also going to be showing you a fun way of using these dies and a blending brush. So if you were to take these dies, and I'll be showing you a little bit more detail on the second card that we create today, and you put color directly on these dies, run it through your die cutting machine, you get all this amazing detail. Isn't this incredible? It brings out, it almost looks like it's got like this white background, and it brings out this die. It just makes it a whole new look, and it makes it really pretty. And I found that you will want to use darker colors if you want the vibrant colors. So this color, it actually kind of looks like Pool Party, but it's actually Blushing Bride. And this is Coastal Cabana. So it almost comes the same color. So you definitely want to use a darker color, and see how this almost looks like what is it called? Calypso Coral. Words are hard today. This is actually Poppy Parade. But isn't that a fun look that it does with that when you actually put color on with your blending brush? So I'll be showing that today on how to do that. So you get two different looks there. And then the third look you'll see in a minute of just stamping the image of the two-step stamping and cutting that out. So let us go ahead and get started. I just kind of wanted to show you the different looks before we went ahead and got started. And then the third look is definitely just a straightforward, and you'll see it in the project in just a minute. Let me go ahead and put this off to the side so it's out of our way. Okay, so our first project, we are playing with Poppy Parade. And I know Patty is in here, and these are Patty colors. And as you can see, I did two different versions of the two-step stamping, and we are using Poppy Parade and Petal Pink for our flowers, and we are using Pear Pizzazz for our leaves. But as you can see, it gives it a completely different look than what I just showed you. So you have three different looks that you can do with this bundle. So it's actually pretty versatile. And it was very intimidating at first, but as I started playing with it, I kind of fell in love with it, not gonna lie. So let's go ahead and get out our pieces, and we'll do some stamping. And then of course, with the magic of TV, as you know, I'll have it already pre-cut out for us. But our card base is in Poppy Parade, and we're having it as a top fold card base. Cut at 4 1/4 by 11, folded at 5 1/2. Then we have our, of course, inside panel piece, 4 by 5 1/4. Then we have an inside strip piece right here that is actually cut at 1/2 by 5 1/4. Then this paper is our designer paper, and that is actually from the desert, or is it Desert Delight? Desert Delight? What is this? Let's see. Delicate Desert. Delicate Desert is my choice of designer paper today. And we're going to be using this piece right here. And then on our next piece, we're going to be using this gray piece. So we are going to be using that. Again, this was originally not one of my favorite designer papers, but I fell in love with it. Start playing with it, and My challenge to myself each month is pick something that intimidates me and just play with it, because I guarantee you you might fall in love with it. Just saying. So let's go ahead and do our insert piece first and get that out of the way. Let's see if I have any questions. It looks like everybody's loving this project. And I know Patty does, because these are her colors. But I thought instead of putting the strip along the bottom, I thought it would run it along the side for something different this time. And so this piece is done, and these cards actually come together pretty quickly. Honestly, the longest parts of these cards was playing with all the different colors and just having fun with it. And I was gonna say, where'd my other piece go? This designer paper makes amazing background papers. It has different sunset looks to it. It has different textures, and it's a lot of fun to play with. And this piece is actually 2 3/4 by 5.5. Again, all the sizes and dimensions will be on my blog tomorrow at cardsbytlc.com. I have to apologize for last week's blog post. I thought I actually hit the publish on my back end, and I never did. So it actually did not go up until Monday. So I apologize for the delay on that. That's not going to happen this week. This is the largest circle from Stylish Shapes Dies, and this is in Poppy Parade to match our cardstock. And of course, this is not gonna, there it goes. Sometimes getting the Stampin' Seal to get going takes a little bit of time. And I have it in the middle here. And the rectangle is from the stitched rectangles. Let me show you the size that we used here. It's actually the smallest in this batch of stitch rectangles. So let's go ahead and just stamp our sentiment first and foremost, and then we will stamp our flowers. Thank you, John. And thinking of you with all of my heart. And then I'm just leaving the inside blank, so it can either be a get well, it could be a sympathy, whatever you want, or just thinking of you. Okay, so that actually I need to leave that out and open. We're going to bring in our piercing mat to help us with our flowers and our leaves. And so, like I said, this is a 2-step stamp set. We have our basically almost our whole flower, and then we have our insert pieces. The hardest part was thinking that these actually lined up perfectly, and they don't. They're just an artistic look, and they don't match up perfectly, and that is okay. You are going for that artistic look. So my normal plan is I always like to do the outside or the darker image first, but on the next one you'll see that I do the lighter image first, because I'm reversing the colors on this. Again, this is in Poppy Parade, and then we have Petal Pink for our inside piece. Thank you, Nell. I love the colors too. I'm actually falling in love with Patty colors. And then Petal Pink, you just kind of take these 3 little pieces right here and line that up in that groove. And there you have it. So now I'm going to clean off my stamps, and I don't have my cleaner here, so I'm just going to bring in my handy dandy baby wipes. You know me, I'm attached to my mic, so if I walk away from my desk, it'll come tumbling down, and we don't want that to happen. We all have experienced what that has, hands down. So now we're going to reverse this and do Petal Pink as my main flower. And then the insert piece, we're going to do Poppy Parade. And I actually don't know which way I liked it better. I think they both turn out really, really nice. They give a completely different look, but when they're side by side, they almost look identical. I thought that was a lot of fun. And then we have our leaf. And our leaf is an artistic looking leaf as well. And that is actually, I'm going to stamp in Pear Pizzazz. And I have 3 of those. And then with our dies, let me get this stuff out of the way here. With our dies, we have our outlined dies, and then you just line those up, run them through your die cutting machine, and again, with the power of TV, magic of TV, we have our flowers and our leaves. I just feel that it saves a little bit of time, and again, my die cutting machine, I don't want to put it right here and shake the whole camera and knock everything over. Not gonna happen on my watch this time. Okay, so now we're just gonna kind of build up our flowers and add our sentiments and get in our we're going to pop these up with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And these make great birthday cards, sympathy cards, get well cards. I really am loving this bundle, and I didn't think I would. I really struggled with trying to find some samples and some ideas, and I'm like, okay, let's just come up with our own, since there doesn't seem to be a lot of demonstrators using this, and I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's because it's so intimidating, maybe. They're just something that you normally wouldn't love, but that's okay. A lot of crafters, and I'm very guilty of doing this exact same thing. I get in my comfort zone and kind of go with what I like, and I am blessed to have my friend Patty nearby. I didn't buy this set. I borrowed it, and I'm actually going to probably get it if it doesn't retire. If it ends up moving over to the annual catalog, I'm going to probably get it because I actually kind of like it, especially with the blending technique that I'm going to show you on the next card. Thank you. Do that. And then we have, again, I want to do my leaves in 3s. Okay, now I'm just going to pop this up with some Stampin' Dimensionals, and we are going to add our rhinestones. And the rhinestones are one of my product of the weeks. I have not used them in such a long time. I did use them last week, I believe, on one of the cards. But we kind of forget about our annual catalog stuff when the mini catalog comes out, and I need to get in a much better habit of using both catalogs. And I think what I'll do is I'll do alternating sets when the next mini comes out, and I'll kind of like alternate between the two. So my annual catalog gets a little bit more love as well. And of course, my Take Your Pick tools over on the thing. So we're just going to use my fingertips here. And add a little bit of bling. And our first project is done. What do you think? See, it's not as intimidating as it seems. So I'm really pleased with it on the way it turned out. So that is project number 1 with our insides. And again, you can do any type of get well, birthday, thinking of you, whatever you want to use for this. So that is project number 1. Project number 2 is using that blending technique. And here is project number 2. We have our card base in thick basic white. We have my favorite embossing folder, the gingham embossing folder in Highland Heather. And then we have the third largest stitch scallop rectangle from the scallop and contour dies. So this die right here. And then we have our designer paper that's from our desert, our delicate desert, I believe is what it was called. Towards the bottom, just to kind of give it some different look. And then our, well, you'll see me blend as I go in here, but this is actually Gorgeous Grape. And as you can see, it matches Highland Heather. And our Highland Heather actually looks more like Fresh Freesia. So it brings it down one notch when you're matching that color. And so I guess you could probably build up on that. But yeah, that's that. And of course, I do not have, so we'll use the back side of this because I thought I had an extra piece. I kind of want to show you what to do. Oh, we don't really technically need to do that, but let me just bring in our sheet here that we'll be blending on. And our dies I'm burying here. So I used the largest die right here, and then I used these 2 dies here. And these flowers turn out to be really pretty. Let me just show you really quick. So here are these 2, and I believe I did this in Daffodil Delight. And then here's the smaller one, and as you can see, you just kind of can build up on this. So we'll be playing with that. Maybe I'll pull a yellow out in the flower. But let me just show you how easy this is. So basically you just take, is this Gorgeous Grape? Hold please. This is Gorgeous Grape. And you're gonna just take our blending brush, and I'm using the regular size blending brush. However, our blending brushes, again, another featured item of the week, are perfect. They're the perfect size for this, but I don't have them. I have them on order, so we're using our regular blending brushes. But you just, as simple as that, and add color to that. Run it through the die cutting machine as normal, face down, and you have these beautiful pieces right here. And to clean these up, just take a baby wipe and it cleans right off of your die. It does not stain your die or anything like that. It just cleans right up. And you're going to probably want to do that relatively right away once you're done with that particular color, just because you don't want that ink to sit there, but it does clean right up. Okay, so see how fun and easy that is. This is actually an addicting process here. I could sit here and, as you can see, I made multiple different colors, played with them. I'm going to probably do a few more different colors, play with them, and build up a floral arrangement. And then what I did for our leaves, same process. I actually did Old Olive on the leaf, and it actually turns out more like Pear Pizzazz. So it brings it down just one color. Be aware of that if you want kind of like a solid color, you definitely want to go with the darker shades of ink. But yeah, and then I did 3 of those. So let us get this stuff out of the way and we will build up our card. But I mean, wouldn't that be just fun? And actually, I might bring in, so I did purple, but I will let you guys, I have a couple of yellow ones here. So we could potentially do the purples or throw in a yellow. What do you think? Do you want to do all purples or throw in a yellow? And a yellow one would be really pretty with the Daffodil Delight background with all yellow flowers. Maybe with some Mango Melody. But purple and yellow together. Okay. Let us do that. So let's do the lighter, I'm thinking. And that flower, so we'll put that in our bucket over there, and we'll add a purple one or a yellow one. Oh, and okay, this is what happens when you start pulling stuff. What about that? Or should I just keep it purple and yellow? I'm throwing all kinds of options your guys' way today. Purple and yellow. Okay. We're not going to throw in the puppy parade. So, oh, Patty's saying all 3. Okay, we've got a purple and a yellow. Somebody's saying all 3. 2 yellow maybe. Let me see what I've got. I don't have a darker flower already cut out. So we can either do 2 yellows, that, or that. Add 2 more, 5 total. Oh dear God, Patty, I don't know if I have enough ones cut out. Okay, let's just kind of pull out the purples. Okay, we've got purples and yellows. Okay, first and foremost, let's just build our card base really quick. Again, it's 4 1/4 by 11, folded at 5 1/2. You guys kind of marinate over the color schemes. And this is 4 by 5 1/4 with embossed in the gingham embossing folder. Again, one of my favorites. And this piece is a 2 by 4. And then I have the happy birthday sentiment in Highland Heather. And I just stamped directly onto the contour piece. And we are going to dimensionals. I don't have a Stampin' dimensional sheet, which would be perfect for this, but I don't have that. Let's see here. Okay, so bear with me and we'll play with the color of the roses. This is the fun part, is getting everybody's inputs on playing with some colors and changing it up for a different look. Throw them all in there. Okay. We're going to have fun. Okay. Let's get this off. Okay. So we have our thing. So we know we're definitely doing this. Let's bring in our sample really quick. We know we're doing that. So let's see here, 2 yellow, dark purple, light purple, and poppy. 2 yellow. Oh, I was wondering where the second yellow was. 2 yellow. That's 3. Let's see. 4. Kind of like that. Just kind of building our scenery here. That's all kinds of goodness. Do we like that? That really added some color to that. Okay, I think we have the layout. Okay, let's see here. I don't want to mess the layout up, so what I'm going to do is just kind of build my leaves first. And just kind of tuck and glue. That's the beauty of liquid glue. You just kind of go with the tucking and let's lay that down. I think I'm going to bring in a mini Stampin' Dimensional because this is up on dimensionals. I want to even that out. Holy bouquet, right? It kind of gave it a really whole new look. I mean, come on now. do that. And then, but I mean, isn't this kind of an addicting process where it just really makes the flower pop with the white background? So we're going to pop this one up with a Stampin' Dimensional. Come on, Tammy. I was reading comments and making sure I didn't miss any questions. Looks like I didn't. So we're going to pop that up there. Let's bring in this last leaf here. And a mini dimensional. Kind of tuck that under there. And I think I'm going to go underneath. Yeah. I definitely want to go underneath. And if you just want to make, you don't necessarily have to pop up the scalloped piece. I just happen to do that. So if you do that, just keep in mind that you might want to even it out with half dimensional and a half embossed. But oh my goodness, what a whole different thing. Let's go ahead and finish off with our bling bling. And I think some of these kind of fell. That's, and maybe up there. Okay, what do you guys think? Isn't that pretty? I really like it with the 5 flowers. So the key is you want to go with an even or an odd amount. Typically we like to do 3s or 5s in this case. But as you can see, isn't that fun and amazing? And let me, what did I do with today's projects? Here we go. So we have our Poppy Parade and our other floral arrangement. I dare you. What is your guys' favorite? God, it's so hard. I can honestly say that I love them all, but this kind of won me over. This whole bouquet won me over. I like these. I think they're really pretty, but I think I'm liking what we ended up creating at the supercalifragilistic. So I would love to know what your guys's favorite is. Put it in the comment section. But honestly, I've enjoyed today's projects. I absolutely had fun. Cannot pick. Aren't they fun? Like, seriously, you love the Poppy Parade. Marcy does. I do love the Poppy Parade, but I love them all for different reasons. I think they all are incredible. So again, I hope you enjoyed today's projects. I would love for you to hit that like button on my video. That does help my channel grow. And if you know anyone that would love to watch my weekly live, please be sure to share my channel with them. This helps me so much. I do, again, as I mentioned last week, have a personal goal to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So we're a quarter of a way there. So we're almost there. Again, all of the sizes and dimensions will be on my blog post tomorrow, March 24th at cardsbytlc.com. And as I mentioned in the beginning, we do have a special announcement. So starting next week, this may or may not, you may or may not like this idea, but I kind of wanted to play with the different times. So starting next Thursday, March 30th at 11 a.m. Pacific time, we are going to try a new time frame. I'm going to give it a shot for about a month for a new time frame. So I hope you guys can join me for this new time frame. If not, you can certainly watch the replay. It's always there. Next Thursday, I will have new color info. We are, as demonstrators, learning about our color refresh next Wednesday. So I should have new color info for you next week and maybe some last chance items. So, again, I hope you guys can join me next Thursday, March 30th at 11 Pacific time. We're going to try it out for a month, and if it doesn't work, we'll bring it back to the 4 o'clock time slot. I just wanted to try it out and see how it works. So I hope you guys join me, and thank you for joining me today. Next week, I think we're going to be playing with some springtime stuff. So I'm going to be using up maybe some designer paper that might be retiring. So I want to use up my designer paper, and I'm going to show you a fun, maybe some patchwork springtime fun. So thank you for joining me, and I will hopefully see you next Thursday, March 30th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And in the meantime, I hope you all have the wonderful rest of your day, the rest of your week, and a wonderful weekend. Hopefully it'll stay dry for us this weekend. I know, I don't understand how it's going to be the end of March next Thursday. So it's crazy. March flew by. But I hope you guys join me next week, and I hope you enjoyed today's projects. And I'm going to be posting this on my Facebook page and having people vote. So I thought it would be kind of fun, but I'm really liking that one. So I will see you guys next week. Thanks for joining me, guys. Bye.